sync the
Oh,
audio
yeah.
and video.
Life lessons and lemons. That's great. Hi, welcome to Life Lessons and Lemons. And we've got Joe with us. Woo! So this is a podcast for young people, about young people, that will just educate and entertain us about their life lessons. And then there's a random lemon question later on. So, yay. So looking forward to it. I can see you eyeing those lemons.
Tell you what, Joe, it can't be worse than Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, yeah.
So you're safe.
Yeah, tune into episode 1 if you didn't understand that reference. Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
a bit nervous, but
Yeah, don't be nervous. Do you want to hold a lemon? Does that help?
Does that help?
maybe
Pat
like a
lemon?
stress
Yeah,
ball.
if you just-
Oh, yes. Yes, how's the stressful? Oh, yeah, those guns. Okay.
Hey, tell us a bit about yourself.
So my name is Joanna, and I'm from UQ6, and yeah, I'm studying engineering at UQ, and yeah,
That's awesome.
Awesome.
I've been in Hope Church for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Quite a while, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, UQ6 is one of our great life groups in our uni ministry, so fantastic people. Yeah, great girl. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we're so excited to hear about, your life lesson and just looking back at what, you've learned and that we can learn from that too. So I guess the first question is, if you could, look back on, your life so far, and if there was a junior Joe, and you wanted to, impart and just teach junior Joe something, what would that be?
I think I would tell a junior Joe to be firm in my identity in God, and just really figure out and process who you are in God, and just not by how you came into this world. Yeah. So just a bit of background. I was actually adopted into a Chinese Malaysian family, and so naturally I had tan skin, whereas my parents had fair skin. So
This is how I feel, Joe.
Yeah, I'm like, this is great.
My sister told me I was picked up from the rubbish dump when I was a kid. That was great.
That explains a lot.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Nice.
yeah, so growing up, I had a lot of like random looks from people whenever I had when I went out with family in the shopping mall or even at the coffee shops.
Yeah.
I would get spoken to in Malay, even
wow.
though we were in the same line for food with my parents.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had a lot of random looks from people, but it didn't really bother me at that point. But it did bother my mom. She was a bit, I guess, more sensitive towards things like that, because she wanted me to have like a great like childhood experience.
Yeah.
Not because of whether I was her biological child or adopted. Yeah. So they made me like really secure in their love.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my.
And when did you find out that, you were adopted?
Oh, I didn't actually find out from them personally till I was in primary school when. So one of my primary school teachers, when you first enroll into primary school, you have to submit your birth cert and all the relevant documents to, just basic documents. But because my birth cert is actually an adoption cert, so it looks different to what everyone else's birth cert looked like. So then she questioned me in front of everyone. It's like,
Whoa.
well, this birth cert is not similar to everyone else's. She's never seen something like that before. And so she sort of like threatened to call my parents in just to verify that this is a legit document.
Right.
This is in primary school.
Yeah, so it was
grade
like,
one.
yeah,
Wow.
like
okay.
7, 8.
Yeah, full on.
And because I didn't really understand, like, oh, I've never actually seen someone else's birth cert, so I was just like, oh, cool. And since then, I've been getting questions from my friends, like, oh, are you sad that, you know, like, what happened? Did they not want you? Something like that. But I wasn't too bothered, again, because my parents really showered me with love.
Yeah.
Great
Your parents
childhood.
sound amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
So, kind of from primary school and then to now, what have, you know, how have you kind of come to terms and learnt from, you know, all those episodes and situations and
I, like, again, wasn't bothered by it till when I was 18, when I came here. I think different situations really like brought about that fear of abandonment, and it just resurfaced. And like, funny story, like in primary school, my volleyball coach, who was a national player, right? He literally, because he saw my parents that they were both very tall, they thought that he thought that he would be able to train me up to become like the next superstar.
because he's just thinking that that growth
that
growth spurt's coming. It's coming.
So for 5 years, right, he ignored everyone else on my team and focused entirely and put all his attention on me. And then when I was like 11, you know, puberty stage, and he was like, why is this girl not growing any taller?
Still waiting.
A lot of faith in the gene pool.
Wow. He looked into those genetics pretty hard.
And so he was disappointed, and funny story, he actually gave up coaching altogether and moved states.
Whoa.
So he just gave up his entire career and moved across Malaysia.
Wow.
Because you wouldn't grow taller, Joe.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm 1'5". Not gonna say the number.
Did he find out?
Yeah, he did. Eventually did, because the assistant coach was like, maybe because she's a doctor.
5 years later, you held that info for 5 years.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Wow.
Like, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like that stuff up. That's
hectic.
That's hectic.
Yeah, so that sort of like people leaving and like me investing to different relationships sort of made me a closed book when I came to Australia to study. Didn't really want to trust in the people. People tried to connect with me at life group, and it's like, not gonna open up to you till like I'm sure that you won't leave me. That sort of thing.
So what happened?
Eventually, I built a relationship with my mentor, and I slowly, she just tried to help me deal with my identity issue. And it's been like a 4 or 5 year journey. It's not instant. As much as I hope I can say, oh, I'm a child of God. It's not an instant process.
And I think we sometimes sit here and we hear the luxury of the end product, and it was only 5 seconds of hearing it, but 5 years, that's a long time. But like, we're wowed by, you know, just your perseverance through it all. It definitely hasn't sounded easy, you know, just even moving, you know, to a totally different environment and kind of having to, you know, build roots and things like that again. But and again, just it sounds amazing that God's put people around your life and your mentor that you can turn to as well. Wow.
And it's not just my mentor. I feel like people around me, close friends, covenantal friendships. Like, actually not this year, 2021, I usually deal with a lot of identity issues when it's nearing my birthday. Like questioning, like fun facts, like, what's my ethnicity? Because you don't really know. We don't know who my parents were. So my close friends, as a joke, like to guess, oh, you're half Indian, or you're half this and half that. I'm like, but there's this, like, that happened last year. Really close sister of mine really sat me down in one of those struggling nights and was just asked me the question, like, so what if you figure out the why were you given up? Why were you? Would that be enough? And yeah, so what? Like knowing all of these, knowing the reasons, would that bring a change? Would that make a difference in your life? And I actually, after my birthday, got to see my actual birth certificate for the first time in 21 years. Yeah, and it did not change a thing. Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. And you just sound so grounded in like the people that have, you know, surrounded you and just poured their love out on you, your parents, you know, your friends, your mentors, like those people just, it's like made such a difference. But I think just your outlook, I'm so wowed by it. Yeah, really. And you're right, a piece of paper or a document doesn't, you know, like, fulfill that identity in you.
I guess what I think about is, you know, like, I mean, obviously your story's amazing, and it's a massive thing, you know, to be adopted, and I think that's also the core of our faith, that God adopts us into His family, and it's not just, you know, someone who's adopted who will struggle with identity issues. I think all of us living in this world, you know, we you know, a lot of it is hidden, you know, and everyone's sort of looking for their place, you know, whether it's in the world or in the family of God. I mean, even as like someone who's pressing into his middle age, you know, I still, you know, have the same questions, you know, like, so Joe, tell us, like, what do you, I mean, I know that you say it's a work in progress and that, but what are the things that help you to hold on, you know, to that identity in Christ? Like, are there things that you tell yourself, you know, what are those reminders that help you stay grounded in that identity?
I think for me, it was really remembering how God really brought me through everything, and how He did not leave me alone to fend for myself in this world.
That's great.
And like, just to really remember every single moment and every single thing that God has done for me, and just to really remind myself of how faithful He has been and how He has seen me through life. And also really surrounding yourself with people who would not be, would be able to remind you of that when you can't tell yourself that, you know, God loves you and stuff like that.
It's so good. And can really tell that, placing your identity in God, you know, it's really like that outlook. It's completely changed, and I think it's obvious, and people will be wowed by that, by your own life, that, you know, despite, you know, from a world perspective, might have been like a rough journey to begin with, just where you are now is just a true story of how God is so real in your life.
Thank you for sharing
Thank
your
you
story.
so much for sharing.
Great
Now, the lemon-related rando question for today is, Joe, what do you eat with lemons?
I try to stay away from them.
Oh, okay. Not allergies or?
No.
Oh, okay.
I like sour stuff, but lemons just hit different.
Not with your water, not a little lemon spritzy spritz? No?
Never.
Okay, cool. Note to self, do not.
Never bought a lemon in your life.
Wow, okay. Cool. Don't, you know, when's your birthday? When's your birthday again, Joe?
November.
November. People, do not give her a lemon for a birthday. Note to self. Okay, cool. So, to end off this podcast as well, and to further educate us, when life gives you lemons, ... Joe?
I'm going to make a lemon joke.
Okay, cool.
It's not going to be an instant process like how you get lemonade from a bottle, but really just taking the time to cut the lemon, squeeze the lemon out of the out of the lemon to get your lemonade. But really, it's just not an instant process. Deal with God and find your identity in Him.
It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, great. And we'll see you guys next time on Life Lessons and
Lemons.
Lemons.